Hi, my name is Kathy, and I've had 2 experiences with Bigfoot. I like to refer him as Sasquatch because that's his Indian name. And my first experience was in Washington State. I was 11 years old, and we had a house out in the woods. I think I had 3 neighbors, and I was out. We have a river on one side and woods on the other, so I went down to the river. And as I was walking down the river, I saw a juvenile Sasquatch. She or he was probably 5 foot tall. Black as coal. Black as coal. His eyes were black, all black, no white, and they were shiny. I took one look and I passed out. Cold. Bam. Down. Gone. But as I was like semi-conscious, I believe that he came over and sniffed me. I heard a sniff, a couple sniffs. And then I woke up and I didn't see anything.
What did you do when you woke up?
I was very disoriented. I kind of just stood there for a while and walked home. And at night, I would hear him from my bedroom, because my bedroom was facing the woods. And I would hear him at night howling, screaming, knocking, chattering. I heard it all. And I would go into my dad's room and say, Dad, I had, something's keeping me up. There are monsters out there. He's like, well, it was a bad dream. Just go back to bed. So, and that happened for like 3 years. 3 years of that.
Right after you saw it, did you tell your parents after you saw it?
No, I didn't.
And then when was it the first time you told somebody about it?
I think it was like 10 years ago I told my sister. And her bedroom was next to mine, so she would hear it too, but she refuses to believe, so.
So can you remember what it looked like?
It had a round head, no neck, big shoulders, and a smaller waist. I only saw to the knees. I didn't see the feet or anything.
And you said it was a juvie, which is a young Bigfoot.
Yep.
So how tall would you think it was?
He was probably like 5 foot tall.
5 foot.
Yeah, he wasn't much bigger than me, so.
And what color was his hair?
Black.
Black.
Black as coal.
Was it long or short?
Probably like 3 inches maybe. It wasn't real,
And when you saw it, again, what were you doing and what was it doing when you first saw each other?
I was walking to the river. It was the cleanest river I've ever seen. Clearest water. And the salmon in there were huge. So it's a perfect feeding site for them. And we go down in a deep hole and go swimming and cool off. And I believe, because I was going there, they were coming down to go into the river.
And then what happened when you saw it again? Were you coming?
I passed out.
Were you coming out of the river? Were you swimming?
No, I was walking down to the river.
You're just walking and it was standing there?
Yeah, it noticed me and stopped.
Yeah. And how far was it from you?
Maybe 100 yards.
100 yards. And was it standing in the open? Was it by a tree? Was it in the woods? Where was it standing?
It was in the woods. It was walking, I believe it was walking down to the river. And in Washington, it's very green. It's the
Right.
ferns and everything are huge.
Yes.
So,
So you saw it. Was it standing facing you, or was it? Where was it? How was it positioned?
it was all right. So I was down a little further, and I heard a noise, and he was like side view. It was a side view of him, but I saw the front too.
Yeah.
It's like when he turned, I saw the front, and then I dropped to the ground.
And then you passed out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you when you were waking up, or you think you were semi-conscious, you heard it come over and kind of sniff you. And then at some point you woke up.
Yep.
And then was it gone then?
Yeah. Gone.
Gone.
And I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything.
Mm-mm.
And then you went home.
Yep. I went home and put it in the back of my mind.
Yeah, it's pretty traumatic for
Yeah.
a young person or anybody
Right. But
to see that.
I mean, we knew that Bigfoot were around, but everybody was like, kind of blind about it. They didn't want to talk about it or anything. Just don't feed them. Don't feed the Sasquatch.
Yeah. I know they come back for more.
Right.
And what county was this? Did you say?
I'm not sure what county. A little town called Elma, Washington.
Elma,
Washington.
Washington.
Oh, we also had we had a goat and we had ducks we were raising, and they took them and ate them.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, "Oh no, we had to get rid of them. Somebody wanted the goat, or he made up some story that I didn't believe, because I knew Sasquatch was eating them.
Yeah, most likely.
I mean, no feathers, no nothing, just
Yeah. And what year was this, would you estimate?
That was in 1974.
74.
Yeah.
What time of year? What season?
It was summer.
Summertime. Okay. Well, that's a wonderful story. I appreciate you sharing that, and maybe more people from that area, that year, that decade, might come forward and say, "Hey, I lived down there too, and we also had sightings." So.
Yeah. So my second experience was in West Virginia, Jackson County. Me and my husband like to hike trails and go into state parks and national forests, and we were hiking, and this guy came out of the woods, and he was a big guy, and we were casting prints, and I said, "Oh, what do you got in the box?" And he says, "Well, I trap bugs." He has a bug catcher. They're investigating on the bugs or whatever, and it was hung on a tree, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm just collecting bugs." I'm like, "Okay, well, we're just casting footprints." So it was like a trail where he went up and put this trap. So I went up there, and I saw the trap, and then I went to the right all the way up this steep mountain, probably almost to the top. And then I took a jar of peanut butter and a bag of apples, and I put them around, scattered them around, hid them, and I opened up the top of the jar and screwed the lid back in. So came back down the mountain and down the trail, and I heard a woohoo, very slight, very low tone, woo-hoo, like a thank you or something, And I'm like, "Oh, did you hear that?" He's like, "Yeah." And then 2 weeks later, we went back to see, if they got the peanut butter and the apples, and I went back up there, and there was nothing there. But there was a lot more trees down, and I didn't recognize it because they pulled the trees down.
Right.
And So I'm like, well, at least they got them. So I put another peanut butter and another bag of apples and came back down off the trail. And I heard 2 knocks. One was close and one was distant. And I'm like, did you hear that? He's like, yeah, I heard it. Well, that's great. So we're walking back, and off the trail to my right was the top of the peanut butter jar. So that was my confirmation that they got it.
Right.
It was way off the mountain and everything. It was just off the trail.
Right. They unscrewed it.
They unscrewed it, yes.
Did you inspect the top?
Yes, we inspected the top.
Were there any bite marks?
Yeah, there was a few scratches.
Yeah.
Little scratches, not big ones.
Right.
Just little scratches.
And that could have been after the fact too. You don't know if something was gnawing on it after.
Right, exactly.
Or during, but it's really hard to unscrew a lid from a jar of peanut butter.
Yes.
Some people say raccoons can do it, but you'd have to be pretty smart to know which way
Right,
to
and if
unscrew
it's
it.
on there tight, which I put it on there tight,
Yeah.
you have to have a thumb to do that.
Yeah, I would think it would take
You'd have to have a thumb to do that.
a large hand
Right.
to try to get it off.
Right. So
So yeah,
we're gonna wait a couple more weeks, and I'll go back and see what's up. And
well, keep us posted on your research.
and I also recorded some sound on that.
Oh, good.
So
Well, yeah, I like to keep in contact, so I like to, anything you're willing to share, I like to share that as well. And anything I've got, you're welcome to share as well.
but we go up this trail a lot. I mean, it's our spot. It's our spot, and it's close to home.
Perfect.
And they have 3 ponds full of stocked fish. It's a perfect, they got berries and nuts, and it's a beautiful spot for them.
And they say that,
And I believe it's a breeding site.
a breeding
myself.
site. Yeah, because
I really do. We found nests too up there.
a nest. We'll try to document as much as you can, as you
Yeah.
know. And the people tell you always wear the same clothes.
Right.
They get to know you
Right.
and trust you.
Well,
and
when I go in, I whistle.
you whistle.
Yeah, I go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do it when I come in. I do it when I get to where I'm going to go up the mountain. I do it halfway up the mountain, and then I do it when I leave.
That's smart.
So they know where I'm at. I'm not out to hurt them or
Right.
anything. I love them. I love Sasquatch.
Yeah.
I love the youngsters. I don't know. I'm just attracted to the young. And maybe it's my mother instinct or whatever, but
Maybe too, you have that demeanor that they can tell you're a good person.
yeah. And
And-
you have to go in. You have to go in with a good heart, good feeling, positive, very loving. You have to go in with that attitude,
I agree.
because if not, they get threatened. Because I do believe they use telepathy, and I can read them.
Yeah.
I can read them, and I know what they're saying, and they're saying that they know what I'm saying. So
See, I know animals. Even a dog knows if you're good or bad. A dog can judge you even, just
right,
your...
right, yep,
So I know animals can tell, too, your intent,
right,
if you have good intentions or not. And so that goes a long way
yeah,
to having... And maybe you might get more evidence there.
yep.
And
Yeah, we're documenting everything.
good.
What we find, size of the footprints, where we found them, making maps and.
Awesome. Well, keep us posted.
Okay.
I'll get this on our YouTube, and I'll send you a copy. You
Okay.
can use it as well. All right. Thank you so much.
All right.